your all capital letter name.
Hopefully by the end of the day, we're hoping to kind of layer the information so by the end of the day it will all make sense and you will be able to go out the door with actual working knowledge of the law system and how to access your freedom, essentially, you know.
Yeah, as I said as well, we are learning just as well as everyone else is here as well, so we just trying to pass this information to you as a grassroots so you can go and pass on the information and learn more yourself.
No advice.
But, no
advice.
No legal advice.
No legal advice whatsoever going on here. Federal Reserve.
My understanding is anywhere where a central bank exists and they're operating under this system. The central bank in Temple Bar there, that's not a government body. They will appear to be and they'll give themselves names that sound like it is. The European Central Bank as well, that's a private bank.
If we nationalise our banks, that's something that our central bank wouldn't want done, is that right?
Exactly. That's a solution that would suit everybody here. Because if we nationalise the banks, then it becomes our bank. So there's no reason to charge interest on the loan. You know, that's one of the solutions that they offered in that documentary. No interest on loans.
So
you know?
they can't let us do that at all costs.
They don't. I wouldn't imagine they want it to happen. No. This diagram here is interesting as well. This is Ireland's national debt from 1980 to 2008. And what's interesting about it is, in 2008 you see the jump to 50 billion. We had our Celtic Tiger, as they call it, when between 2006, 2007, 2008. So when we thought we had more money in our country, it wasn't more money, we actually just got more debt. And that's evidence of the 50 billion jump that we came to in 2008. The more money that we appear to have, that we're now able to have even more luxury in our lives, that was just debt attached to it, you know. So I used to think that when you went into a bank and you applied for a loan, that they going in, they do a credit check on me to make sure I can pay it back. They go into their safe and they take out the grants, they give it to me and I owe back to them an interest. And I used to think that in doing that, the bank is at a risk lending to me because they're lending from their own assets. But it turns out the banks aren't even allowed to loan out their own assets or their own finances. It's all from this credit that they create. So when you go into a bank and they give you a loan agreement, your signature on this agreement is what creates that credit. This is now a valuable document that they can go and they can create this credit from. And what they do then is they lend this credit back to you that you've created in the first place and they add interest to it. So it's either electronic debt money, which is again intangible, and this is again with this microchip. You know, we had paper notes, and people were used to using these paper notes, and over the years, they've encouraged more and more use of credit cards. They want to get people away from feeling their value. They just want to be able to swipe it and go. So over the generations, you know, we're coming from a time when we had silver and gold coins to where we are now, when we're just going to be beeping them. We're not even going to be thinking about where the credits come from or where they go. It's a situation they really want us to be in. And then the catch is, they give you this fictional paper, they give you this credit that is based on nothing, and if you don't pay them, they will come and take your physical, real possessions, your home, your car, anything, you know, anything that they can get their hands on, they'll take from you, and these are real items, you know. So this is how you can see they've gradually been sucking the wealth out of nations and claiming the land and claiming the, you know, repossessing homes and farms and so on. And the bottom, you know, the bottom rung, say AIB, Bank of Ireland, they're accessing this credit. Now the government frees up that credit by offering us as collateral to these bankers. So when we're born, essentially what's happening is your mother informs the doctor that there's a new stock. They're notifying the bankers of new stock that's going to it's going to generate revenue. It's valuable. You are valuable. They've run out of everything else to offer. So they offer this stock. This birth cert gets floated onto the stock exchange and generates revenue. So all of this credit, that's your credit anyway. When we're going to the bank, they're acting as a middleman for you to access what's already yours. Because, you know, your existence is what allowed that credit to be there in the first place. So what we've been reduced to is what they call as human resources. That's really what we are. It's like the Matrix.
Live in a tax farm.
Exactly, yeah. When you're plugged into the system in the Matrix, and what we human batteries, That's all it is, and they're just trying to extract the energy out of the batteries, and they use the financial system and the legal system are the two. It's a double-headed dragon that they use to force this on us.
I must say though, there is a remedy for all this, and we will get into it in a bit. So
yeah, it's not all doom and gloom.
It's not all doom and gloom at all.
And then another little catch is your PAYE. We assume that this is going to pay for the running of our country and our services. That's not what happens with that money. That money goes directly straight off the debt. So the amount of debt that we're in at the moment, our full tax year, the collective amount of people, all that tax goes straight off the debt. So then they have to make up the deficit by either borrowing more money into the country or taxing us for smoking, taxing us for drinking, taxing us for using plastic bags, government levies, anything that they can think of, they'll put a little tax on it because they need to get the money to run the country. This is where they're getting the rest of their funds from. And as I said, anything they can't get out of taxes, they'll just borrow more credit plus the interest.